phone call happened on October 3rd, 1974, at 11:47 p.m. Bruce Lee had been dead for over a year, but Muhammad Ali, sitting in his hotel room in Kinshasa, Zaire, 1 week before the rumble in the jungle, couldn't stop thinking about a conversation they'd had in 1973. A conversation about a fight that almost happened. A fight that would have answered the question millions of people still argue about today. Who would win, the greatest boxer or the greatest martial artist? Ali picked up the phone and called Gene LeBell, the legendary stuntman and martial artist who'd worked with both men. "Gene, I need to ask you something." "What's up, champ?" "If Bruce had lived, if we'd actually done that fight we talked about, who would have won?" Gene was quiet for a long moment. "Ali, I've thought about that every day since Bruce died. And the truth is, it depends on one thing." "What thing?" "The rules." What Gene LeBell knew, what Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali both understood when they discussed this privately in 1973, was that the answer to who would win wasn't about skill or strength or speed. It was about which reality they were fighting in. Because in a boxing ring with boxing rules, Ali would destroy Bruce in under 2 minutes. But in a street fight with no rules, Bruce would end Ali in under 30 seconds. And the reason why reveals everything about the difference between sport and survival. Subscribe now to see the fight that almost happened. Let's start with what actually occurred. Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee met multiple times between 1969 and 1973. They weren't rivals, they were friends. They respected each other's craft. And Ali appreciated Bruce's speed and philosophy. Bruce studied Ali's footwork and combinations. In 1972, Bruce visited Ali's training camp in Los Angeles while Ali was preparing for a fight. They sparred lightly, just playing around, testing each other's reflexes. Gene LeBell was there. So was Joe Louis, Bruce's student and a heavyweight kickboxing champion. Years later, LeBell described what he witnessed. They were moving at speeds I'd never seen. Ali was throwing jabs, not hard, just testing. Bruce was slipping them, moving angles, flowing like water. Then Bruce threw a few strikes, again, not trying to hurt Ali, just showing him technique. Ali's eyes got big. He said, "Man, you're fast. But you're what? 140 pounds? I'm 220. If I catch you, it's over." Bruce smiled and said, "That's why you won't catch me." It was friendly, playful, but both men understood the underlying truth. In their respective domains, each was untouchable. Ali in the boxing ring, Bruce in the street. And later that year, they had a private conversation that revealed how deeply both men understood the limitations of their arts. The conversation happened in Ali's hotel suite in Los Angeles on June 8th, 1973, just 6 weeks before Bruce died. Bruce had come to discuss a potential project, a martial arts instructional film featuring Ali, demonstrating how boxers could defend against martial arts attacks. After business, they started talking philosophy. "Bruce, let me ask you something," Ali said. "If we fought for real, you think you could beat me?" Bruce didn't hesitate. "In a boxing ring? No. You'd knock me out. I'm 135 pounds. You're 220. You've got reach, power, and 20 years of boxing experience. If I had to fight you under boxing rules, I'd lose." Ali smiled. But if there were no rules, if we fought like it was life or death, I'd go for your eyes, your throat, your knees, your groin. I'd use techniques that would cripple you permanently. And I'd do it in the first 30 seconds before you could use your size advantage. Ali nodded slowly. You know what's crazy? You're right. In a street fight, all my boxing don't mean nothing if you kick my knee backwards or gouge my eyes out. I can't hit what I can't see. Bruce leaned forward. The problem is, people compare us like we do the same thing, but we don't. You're an athlete, the greatest athlete in combat sports. I'm not an athlete. I'm a fighter. There's a difference. What's the difference? You train to win within rules. I train to survive without rules. Aren't you perfect techniques that score points? I perfect techniques that end threats. You're optimized for the ring. I'm optimized for the street. We're not comparable. We're opposites. Ali was quiet for a moment. So if we fought, it's not about who's better. It's about which reality we're in. Exactly. That conversation, witnessed by only 2 other people in the room, never made it into the media, but it reveals the truth that most people don't want to accept. Hit subscribe to see the simulation. Let's run the scenario both ways. Scenario 1, boxing ring, boxing rules. The fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. Standard boxing rules. No kicks, no grappling, no strikes below the belt, no eye gouges, no groin shots. Just fists. Just boxing. Bruce Lee weighs 135 pounds. Muhammad Ali weighs 220 pounds. Round 1 starts. Bruce comes out fast. He studied Ali's fights. He knows Ali drops his hands. He knows Ali's defensive style relies on head movement and the rope-a-dope. Bruce tries to use his speed advantage, darting in and out, throwing quick combinations. But here's the problem. Ali's reach is 78 inches. Bruce's reach is 68 inches. That's 10 inches of distance Bruce can't close without entering Ali's power zone. Every time Bruce steps in to strike, Ali's jab is already there, snapping Bruce's head back, controlling distance, setting up the right hand. Bruce is fast, incredibly fast, but Ali fought Joe Frazier, a devastating puncher with speed and aggression. Ali fought George Foreman, the hardest hitter in heavyweight history. Ali fought fighters who could kill with one punch. Bruce's punches in boxing gloves, with boxing rules limiting his most dangerous techniques, or don't have knockout power against a 220-pound heavyweight. By round 2, Ali has figured out Bruce's timing. He starts walking Bruce down, using his jab to keep Bruce at distance, throwing combinations when Bruce tries to close. Bruce is taking headshots. His legs are still fresh, but his head is absorbing punishment. By round 4, Bruce is slowing down. The accumulated damage from fighting a man 85 pounds heavier is taking its toll. Ali sees the opening. Round 5, 147 into the round. Ali lands a right cross. Bruce's legs buckle. Ali follows with a combination. Bruce goes down. The referee counts. Bruce can't get up. Ali wins by knockout. Time: 14 minutes, 47 seconds. In a boxing ring with boxing rules, Muhammad Ali destroys Bruce Lee. Not because Bruce isn't skilled, because boxing rules eliminate 90% of Bruce's arsenal and force him to fight Ali's fight. It's not even close. But now, let's change the scenario. Hit subscribe to see what happens with no rules. Scenario 2. No rules, street fight. The fight happens in an alley. No referee, no gloves, no time limits. Just 2 men. One walks away, one doesn't. Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali. No rules. Ali weighs 220 pounds. He's bigger, stronger, and has a devastating punch. Bruce weighs 135 pounds, but now He has access to his full arsenal: kicks, knees, elbows, eye strikes, throat strikes, groin attacks, joint destructions. The fight starts. Ali moves forward, hands up, trying to use his boxing stance. Bruce doesn't box. He immediately goes low. A brutal kick to Ali's lead knee. Not a sparring kick. A fight-ending kick designed to hyperextend the joint and collapse the leg. Ali's knee buckles. He's still standing, but his mobility is compromised. Bruce doesn't wait. He shoots in low, not for a takedown, but to attack Ali's groin with a knee strike. Ali tries to block, but Bruce is faster. The knee connects. Ali doubles over in pain. Bruce follows immediately with an elbow to the back of Ali's neck. Ali drops to his knees. Bruce is behind him now. Ali is defenseless. One choke, one throat strike, one eye gouge. The fight is over in 22 seconds. Bruce Lee wins. But here's the key point. Bruce doesn't beat Ali in the sense of being a better fighter. Bruce wins because the rules of engagement changed. In a street fight, size and strength matter less than speed, precision, and willingness to use lethal techniques. Ali's boxing, designed for sport, leaves him vulnerable to attacks that don't exist in boxing. Low kicks, groin strikes, eye gouges, throat attacks. Ali has no defense against these because he's never trained to defend against them. It's not a fair fight. It's not supposed to be. Street fighting isn't about fairness. It's about survival. And Bruce trained for survival. Subscribe to see what the experts say. Let's bring in people who actually knew both men and understood their capabilities. Gene LeBell, legendary stuntman and martial artist who worked with both. Ali was the greatest boxer who ever lived. But boxing is a sport. Bruce trained for combat. If they fought in a boxing match, Ali wins every time. If they fought in an alley with no rules, Bruce would have destroyed Ali before Ali knew what hit him. It's not disrespecting Ali. It's just reality. They were designed for different purposes. Joe Louis, heavyweight kickboxing champion, trained by Bruce Lee. I sparred with both of them. Ali hit harder than anyone I've ever felt. But Bruce was faster, more creative, and had techniques Ali had never seen. In a boxing ring, Ali's power and size would overwhelm Bruce. In a real fight, Bruce would attack Ali's weaknesses, knees, eyes, throat, and end it in seconds. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, NBA legend, student of Bruce Lee. Bruce told me once, I can't outbox Muhammad Ali, but I don't have to. I just have to survive long enough to land one strike that ends the fight. That's the difference. Ali fights to win. Bruce fights to survive. Those are two completely different mindsets. Mike Tyson, heavyweight champion, studied Bruce Lee. Ali would beat Bruce in a boxing match, no question. But if there's no rules, if Bruce can kick, if he can go for the throat, if he can attack the groin, Ali's in trouble. Boxing doesn't prepare you for that. I trained my whole life to box, but I've never trained to defend a kick to my knee or a finger in my eye. Bruce would have used those, and Ali would have had no answer. Every expert who knew both men agrees on the same point. Context determines the winner. Boxing ring equals Ali wins. Street fight equals Bruce wins. Hit subscribe for the final truth. Here's what most people miss when they argue about this fight. They want a clear winner. They want to know who's better. But better doesn't exist in a vacuum. Ali was better at boxing than anyone who's ever lived. Bruce was better at street combat than anyone who's ever lived. And they were optimized for different realities. It's like asking, who would win, a Formula One race car or a monster truck? On a paved track, Formula One destroys the monster truck. Off-road through mud and rocks, monster truck crushes the race car. Neither vehicle is better. They're designed for different environments. Same with Ali and Bruce. Ali trained to win rounds, to accumulate points, to outbox opponents within a regulated framework. Bruce trained to end threats, to survive violence, to incapacitate attackers as quickly as possible. If you put Ali in Bruce's environment, Ali dies. If you put Bruce in Ali's environment, Bruce loses. The question isn't who would win. The question is, what are the rules? Because the rules determine everything. And here's the deepest truth that both men understood. Neither wanted to fight the other for real, because they respected what the other represented. Ali represented the pinnacle of athletic combat, the perfection of sport, discipline, and competitive excellence. Bruce represented the pinnacle of survival combat, the refinement of techniques designed to protect life at any cost. They operated in different worlds, and both men were wise enough to know that destroying each other would prove nothing except that context matters more than skill. In Ali's world, Ali was unbeatable. In Bruce's world, Bruce was unbeatable. And the imaginary fight that millions of fans still debate today, it happened exactly once, in that hotel room in 1973, when two legends looked at each other and acknowledged the truth. They were both right, both the best, both untouchable, just in different realities. Muhammad Ali died in 2016. Bruce Lee died in 1973. The fight never happened. And maybe that's perfect, because the mystery, the eternal debate, is more powerful than any answer could ever be. Ali would beat Bruce in a boxing ring. Bruce would beat Ali in a street fight. Both statements are true. Both men were legends, and the greatest fight in history is the one that never happened, because sometimes the question is more important than the answer. Subscribe for more untold stories and legendary matchups that reveal the truth behind the myths.